Welcome. I'm Diane Yellowlight, a certified psychic. Today we're going to talk about life is all about adjusting. Just because we adjust through one situation and we get it in balance, it doesn't mean that the rest of our life is going to stay balanced. Life is ebb and flow, high and low, up and down, around and backwards. What we need to do is to know that every circumstance that comes to us, that it is our time frame that we need to focus and balance ourselves the best we can. We need to look at our situations and have compassion. If there's things in your life that don't seem to be balancing for you and you're working at all your aspects of it, then you need to take a break from it. If you aren't working at all the aspects in your life and it is too complexity, then sometimes you do have to let things go. A lot of times, though, people let many things go before they resolve the own issues in that relationship or the work situation with their children or family or friends. We jump. We get too hasty in how we shut the doors on people. When we shut the doors on people, then we're shutting the doors on ourselves. And we do live in a delusional aspect that, okay, that didn't work. And then we open up the door to somebody else and we haven't resolved the last scenario in the relationship in order to be able to make it work, or we haven't moved forward in the relationship with whoever it is in order to be able to make it work. So it's very important when things go wrong and they can't be made right at the time frame, and there really is no wrong or right, but I'm using that because that's what we have to talk about. Then one needs to take a deep look at everything and make sure that they don't go to haste, because it will waste time and the person will start over again in another scenario. Unless you isolate yourself and never do anything and don't go anywhere and don't connect in with anybody, you'll never have any responses or any problems or any scenarios in any situation. So it's really important that you take a look at where you're at in your aspect of your life and realize that every day I'm going to have to fine tune something in my life, either about others or about myself or about inner thoughts, outer thoughts, just different things. You know, a lot of times people think they get to a point in their life, even if they're to the point of the end of their life where they're retired, you're still facing movement. You're still facing how to be old. You're still facing how to be young. You're still facing how to be a male. You're still facing how to be a female or a child. It doesn't really matter. We're always going to be facing and having to adjust to situations and circumstances in our life. A lot of times we can correct and balance things out, and sometimes they just don't happen. However, it is up to each person and their responsibility of themselves to decide when enough is enough. And a lot of times, enough is enough sometimes works, but a lot of times it doesn't. Because when there's always unresolved situations in each of us, it haunts us somewhere in and out through our life. And it most definitely would come up in another scenario with another person in another situation at another time. So know that one thing, in reality, life will never stay a natural line of flow. It can have more peace and balance in it than it can have drama and chaoticness. But the only reason it has drama and chaoticness is because sometimes people need to be faced with inner things that they can't grow any other way. So I know that each and every one of you can go above and beyond your circumstances, and I'm asking that you do that today. Take a deep look in yourself. Make sure that when you shut anybody's door, even your own door, that you're shutting it for good reasons, and those reasons are not going to be reasons that's going to haunt you later on. We are learning about unconditional love in our lifetime. We are way far away from it, but it is part of the process. So I would ask each and every one of you to go above and beyond your circumstances. Make sure you don't close doors too soon. Do evaluate what is balanced and what isn't balanced, and stop blaming everybody else. I got many videos on blame. You know, every time we walk away from a job or we walk away from a situation of personal or family or friends or children, whatever we're dealing with, the first thing we want to do is blame it all on the other person. When you find yourself doing this, then you're not living in the reality of life, because it is not two people, it is not one people, it is two people or whoever's involved in the scenario. And the only way that you can come to what that scenario is and to work it out is to work it out with the right people. Or you're going to turn around and it's going to repeat itself somewhere in your life. We go through many different stages of life learning different things. Some of these things take a lot longer to learn than other things. However, we're always given the opportunity to allow our hearts to free up, to allow our egos to soften, to allow ourselves to go above and beyond our circumstances, and allow ourselves to feel unconditional love for another person and for self. We do expect way too much from other people. And when we get into expectation, we are always going to get into disappointment. If we can get into just what is and what is being, and when something does happen to disturb us, take a step back, take a look at it and say, why am I reacting or not reacting this way? And see if it has something that can do with something that can evolve yourself to being a more open person, loving person, caring person, sharing person, and get the rewards back. Sometimes people can't open their doors because they can't let people love them because they think their own love is enough. Sometimes they can't let people love them because they don't know that they're worthy of love. There are so many reasons to why we shut the door on love and people in our lives, and we are very hasty and we judge and we say, I'm not going to do this anymore. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to accept this anymore, blah, 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 as if we are judge and jury. We are not judge and jury in this life. Divinity is. We have no right to put a sentence on anybody or a title on anybody, but we all do it because we're being human. We are learning to get beyond that point, and that's what we're going into in the next millennium. And I know each and every one of you can go above and beyond your circumstances. And remember that life is going to have ups and downs in it. It's going to have negative and positive in it. It's going to have sadness and joy in it. And it's going to have more of it than what you realize. We are in very fast times. And right now, if everybody is expecting everybody to be in balance, stay in balance, and make it work that way, they're crazy. We can't do this at the end of this millennium and this time frame. This year is a huge cleansing process and manifesting process. And what we dump here, we will not carry into the next year. What we heal here, we will carry into the next year. And we'll be able to learn to co-create with others. Every time we dump something, we stop the process of learning to co-create. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others. Ask yourself if this is to your highest good, where you want to go, what you want to do, and know that life is going to have a lot more uns in it for a while until we get a better balance in ego, soul, mind, heart, and spirit. Then you need to realize that sometimes you may be throwing out the most important things in your life. Do remember that we are all on different paths and we all have the right to learn how we want to do so. And I know that you will find that you can do so, but the expectation of having things stay in the flow and balanced all the time is not going to happen. If you have a flow and then things get chaotic, the chaotic always seems to disturb the flow, and we never go back and looking at what the beautiful flow was. And if we could with each other stop at that moment, go back and look at the flow of the moments that were beautiful, get into the vibrations of it, not just in the mind. Too many people stay in the mind. The mind is self-destroying the ego and people and love and unconditional love at this time frame. You got to take the mind thoughts to the heart back up to the chakras in the solar plexus, up through the throat, up to the third eye, up to the mind, back to the heart, and back to the mind, to the heart, to the ego. It all has to blend at this time frame if we're going to find the true balance that does stay. I'm afraid we've all been put into a delusion here that things are going to always be right or we're going to always be wrong. Nobody can seem to find that middle road of saying, yes, it is up, it is down, and honor the negative in your life because they're teaching you something, and be thankful for the blessings because they're your gift for where you've been. So I know each and every one of you can go above and beyond your circumstances, and I ask that you do so today, and I will be talking to you soon, and I send you a lot of light, love, and light, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.